In this episode, I will tell you about the evolution of the Roman army and its role in Pomaria. The layout of the permanent camp at Pomaria was reconstructed by Joseph Canal and published in 1888. In his study, he describes the distribution of troops within the camp. However, his interpretation, widely adopted by later researchers, appears to be based on the organization of the early Roman legions, before major military reforms. Canal mentions the presence of hastati, velites, and triarii. Yet, by the early 3rd century AD, these units no longer existed. Do you know why? In 107 BC, the Roman general and statesman Gaius Marius introduced reforms that profoundly transformed the legions, making the Roman army a professional force. These changes established a permanent and structured recruitment process based on strict criteria such as age, health, and skill. Military discipline and training were reinforced, and soldiers now served full-time, allowing them to gain continuous experience and remain battle-ready throughout the year. Auxiliary cohorts, known as peregrini, included specialized troops skilled in various weapons, such as bows, spears, and swords, along with an exceptionally effective light cavalry. Roman citizens were primarily integrated into the legions, but some also served in cavalry units called equites legionis, ensuring mobility and a strong offensive capability. At Pomaria, the presence of the ala of explorators is well documented, a reconnaissance unit responsible for monitoring enemy movements and anticipating threats. This organization, built on the complementarity between legionaries and auxiliaries, ensured a highly versatile and efficient military force. Before Marius reforms, soldiers were responsible for purchasing their own equipment, which imposed a heavy financial burden and limited military service to wealthier citizens. Weapons, shields, and armor were often acquired using personal savings, with support from a patron or family. Thanks to these reforms, the Roman state began supplying soldiers with their gear, making the army more accessible and professional. Over time, the distinction between legionaries and auxiliaries became less pronounced, strengthening the unity of the Roman military. Inheriting these developments, the camp at Pomaria housed a variety of regular and auxiliary troops, forming a unified fighting force without distinctions based on origin or status. However, after the fall of the Western Roman Empire in AD 476, Pomaria's structures were gradually abandoned. Over the centuries, they became a valuable source of building materials, repurposed by successive civilizations. As a result, stones from the camp were reused to construct the now-lost Al-Akbar Gate, as well as the crumbling walls of the prayer hall of the Great Mosque of Agadu and the base of its minaret. This concludes our episode. In the next one, we will explore the history of the Agado Mosque.